It's 5 to 9. New research by the phone company 2 Degrees reveals that when it comes to a sense of community, we truly have entered a digital age. The main finding from a survey of 2,000 people is that the community most important to most people in their daily lives is their online community. So whether that's Facebook or a gaming group, it's taken over from neighbourhoods, sports groups and churches. Let's talk about this with former Waitakere Mayor Sir Bob Harvey, a big believer in community, and I see that he's been pondering these findings. He's with us in the Auckland studio. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Yeah, well, I've kind of been crazy about communities right through the Mayoralty, of course, but I still hung in there.
And were you surprised? Were you surprised at this?
Well, I kind of, you have that second sense that something big is happening. And they responded really well, I think, and very honestly. They had 2,000 New Zealanders in the 2 Degrees survey. And I was amazed that only 25% said, my home is just where I live. And I really don't have a desire to engage with the local community. I thought, well, I should be mayor again. But I wanted to think that they really needed to be involved. And the survey says that 43% say, I'm not involved in any local community groups, but I know my neighbours. So
why do you think that's changing so much, that people aren't really so involved perhaps in their immediate environment, but they clearly are unsafe. Online?
Maybe I think they feel unsafe. And we're talking about isolation. And I don't like that, because I grew up in a community, I guess you did too, where we knew the neighbours. But only 9% said I feel isolated from my community. But they did say, but I'd like to be more engaged. I think New Zealanders feel that they want to talk, to want to be part of the community. And I guess this survey is opening the door to say, get into it.
I guess people can't always find a space that feels right for them in their immediate surroundings, but they do find it online. So is that a good thing?
Well, I think it's neither bad nor good. It's just the way it is. And I think we've become digitally wired. I think it's one of the things of the 21st century, and I reckon it's probably going to get, if I might say, a little worse. We will be, and I don't want that to happen.
What do you mean by worse?
I think we'll become more and more isolated. Our kids, that we'll be worried more about our children. We're worried about our safety, worried about the way things are going. I think the stress in communities is now starting to show, and I reckon that we've got to do a lot more work with our communities to get them out and about.
But if people are effectively saying they don't want to be involved in their local communities in such a big way, how do you get them involved?
I think we've got to find more creative ways, and I think that's about the role of local government, and I think leadership. We've still got councillors, we've still got people that care, and we've still got communities that are alive with volunteers, alive with organisations that are often now suffering because the volunteers are drying up a bit. But I think that we've got to rethink how we are and who we are with our communities. I think communities have got to be alive and flourishing.
Is it that because there's now the online community as well as, your family, maybe your job, your parents, your local community, is it all just a bit overwhelming?
Yes, it is. I think that's going to be to the fore in the next decade. How does a company like 2 Degrees fit in well and be community-minded, which they are, and commission research like this, which they do, to find out what we need to do.
What would you say is your most important community?
My community? I live out west, and it's the community of the west. And even though we've got a super city, that community in the west is still thriving. We still feel environmentally good. We feel good about our kids, Māori, Polynesian. And so my community, which is West Auckland, has survived the monolith called the super city.
There you go. Proud Westie, Sir Bob Harvey, ending the programme for today. Back with you tomorrow. Have a good one.
The Chatham Island oyster catcher, Pondering.